Well, high school was not bad for me. It wasn't so much high school; it was middle school. It was a nightmare. High school was okay at best, but middle school, those years where you're prepubescent and your hormones are going crazy and everything's awkward. Walking around a room, people look at you and you're awkward. Like that's just miserable. You can't even like look at girls in the eyes. You like wet yourself when they look at you or say your name, or you shit in your pants.
That's what it was. Okay, that's why boys didn't look at me because I was 12 with boobs.
Yeah.
No one else was.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why no one talked to me. I had boobs.
How old were you when your boobs came in?
Like 10.
10. That's so. I remember the first girl that got boobs. It was 5th grade. Her name was Jessica.
You still remember because it's like.
She was her name. Well, I don't want to give away her name, but anyway, her name was Jessica, and she had humongous, bodacious tatas, as we like to say in the United States. Yeah, all the guys call them bodacious tatas. Anyway, yeah, she 5th grade, and I think my wiener had just woken up, so we're talking like 10, 11 years old, and
she
had and again, I don't know, how old was that? Like 11, 12? I remember even thinking back then, there's no good reason why you should have gigantic, full-blown adult breasts.
Right.
Because like boys in 5th grade look like little children, right? Some girls look like children, some really mature. And that makes me think that God's fucked up to have made things that way. Like, I don't know why his design, because his designs and things don't make any sense. Like, I don't know why girls in puberty, at the beginning of their puberty, look like, because I mean, honestly, I remember girls when they were like 15 in high school were dating like 21-year-old guys.
That's just weird and wrong.
But they looked like 20-year-olds.
They looked old enough, right?
Yeah. So, and I think that's fucked up. But biologically, and if we're just looking at them, you'd be tricked. You would go, oh my God. You know what I mean? And I think that's a bad design by God's part. Like, teenage boys look like babies, and then teenage girls could look either way. They could either look like babies or they could look like mature women.
Yeah.
I also think coming is a strange design. I don't know what God was.
He was strange design. Why is coming a weird design?
It's just strange. Think about God up in heaven. He's at his desk. I picture it being like an art desk, like that an architect would have, and he's sitting there with all these designs of how we're gonna be, how what monkeys look like. Because you ever think about you ever see monkeys on National Geographic and they're weird assholes? They have weird red, strange assholes, and I'm like,
or whatever they are, and it's like, why? Yeah. Why is that?
I don't know. It's a shitty design, and as wonderful as some things are that God makes, then you have baboon assholes. You go, what the hell was that, dude?
Why is that there?
Yeah, that's just ugly and just aesthetically unappealing to my eyes. But Coming is a strange design. Like, he literally sat at a desk and thought up of, all right, well, for men, I'm going to make them blast white goo out of their cocks. And women, I'm going to insert eggs, right? And only maybe a few of them work in their vaginas. And men, whatever.
Where do babies come from? I don't know.
Just vaginas. And men will blast like millions of sperm, and then one is lucky enough to get to the egg.
What sense
that's
does that make?
The design he thought of? That's so bizarre, right?
Do you find it surprising that humans actually can breed, knowing everything we know now? How everything works, but how utterly ridiculous and stupid the human race is. How are we still here?
What do you mean? Like,
how did people know? Like, how did ancient men know how to procreate? Because humans, to me, are
they got horny because their dicks got really hard.
Well, that's it. That's why you get horny, right? To reproduce. That's the biological urge, I guess. But
no, I think that's the genius, actually.
But we don't want that when we have sex a lot of the time. We don't want to do it to breed.
What do you mean?
Well, does everyone think, oh, I'm going to have sex, so I'm going to have a baby? No, you have sex because it feels good. And you connect with someone, right?
Sure. I mean, that's a separate that's a separate issue when I'm bringing it up. I'm more like just talking about
you're just
aesthetics.
Shit. But I'm like,
I'm just talking,
people. How do people breed when they're so stupid? That's my thought process.
Actually, I think that's a genius design because God made most people like semi-retarded, right? And the only way, like, if I wasn't horny, I'd have no interest in like even try dating. Like I would say 90% of the women I talk to, I have nothing in common. There's no commonality other than I think you look good. I like your hips, you know, and
childbearing hips.
I like your childbearing hips, and subconsciously I want to lay my seed into your eggs so my name continues on. But that's the genius of the design, right? Because men and women are just such polar opposite creatures. And how are you going to get these two to connect and keep the species?
I don't know if that's how it works, but
well, I don't know. I'm just.
I'm giving you shit.
The only way I can. I'm trying to show everybody
and
through
then
my hands.
They do this.
Yeah. Oh well, I go like this. Yeah.
I mean, there's this, but that's the wrong. You're not procreating like that.
That's scissoring. Yeah. This is probably just like this is just two assholes like bumping up against each other. I guess.
Asshole bump.
Yeah. But no, that's the genius of God's design because, like for us, women are unlikable creatures, and for you, men are unlikable creatures. Well, how are we going to get these two creatures that don't like each other to procreate? Because they do need each other to do that. I think that's the genius of his design.